We've also seen recently a fairly good surge in the price of real estate. There's always been a fairly consistent level of gain in terms of house prices in the Nanaimo, but lately the numbers have been moving quite quickly, and so that the availability and affordability of housing is becoming increasingly precarious for lots of folks on fixed incomes especially. Price of rental housing and housing to buy is moving rapidly up, and the wage structures aren't, so that disparity is going to continue.
I talked to a business owner recently who was planning to hire more workers, but the people he wanted to hire hadn't been able to find housing in the valley. So those were people who actually could afford a reasonable level of housing, but there wasn't housing available for them.
So recently we've also seen changes in the last couple of years of qualification. So basically the amount of income that is usable for debt servicing a mortgage. Now all mortgages are, pretty much all mortgages have to be qualified at least 2% higher than the actual contract rate clients are paying. The challenge with this is that it's really restricting people as housing prices are increasing as well. And so people who before possibly could afford a $300,000 house, now they're only able to afford probably a $250,000 house.
And then going on into later life, when mobility factors come into play, you really have to look at housing in that regard too. I would say in the Cowichan Valley, like quite a few other places within the province, our population is aging. You know, in that situation, you might not really be looking for housing with stairs or just, you know, things that are really on one level and things that are easily accessible. And that is going to be something we're going to need to think about in future planning for what housing looks like throughout the region as well.
One of the other changes that came through was that the insurers pulled out of refinancing or insuring refinanced mortgages. That's become quite a challenge. I would say more so for seniors who have, you know, done a really good job throughout their lifetime of paying their mortgage down, being really responsible about that, in the hopes that they would be able to access their equity, maybe as a secondary income or just a bit of extra cushion in their senior years. And now that really limits the amount that they are able to qualify.
And really at local government, we have a couple of levers to pull when it comes to changing the price of housing, but they're very small levers when compared to the massive lever that's the market, you know.
We've also made it a little bit more flexible in terms of trying to stimulate affordable home ownership. So it's really, it's meant to, again, be in as one of the first funders, and then that money is usually used to leverage funding from other funders.
So we can always kind of tinker a little bit with that, and one way we do that is by increasing and encouraging density, because housing is cheaper to build when you build more of it on one spot, and you can spread the costs over more units.
In the future, I know there's a lot of buzz within our industry about there's less competition and there's less choice for people who are seeking out a mortgage and who are looking into getting into home ownership. It's less of a competitive market, which means less choice for Canadians, really.